Welcome to the Path to Mindset Mastery. My name is Brad Bizjack. I'm a mindset strategist and coach, inspirational speaker, and creator of Appreciation Academy, and I help online business owners break through all the negative self-talk and those inner voices that are holding themselves back from achieving their dreams. And today is all about success and, more importantly, happiness. One of the biggest myths that you can ever believe about success is going to be unveiled today. So what I've done is actually summarize my top 10 tips to live a happy life. And we're going to go through that in just a minute. But the challenge a lot of people face is they think they'll be happy when they achieve something. And that's the biggest myth of success you can possibly believe. Business, success, and money do not create happiness. Happiness creates those things. I went through a period of time in my life where I knew what I wanted so bad, but I'd find myself on the couch watching TV, having these bad days that I couldn't break through. It was like 3 or 4 days a week, and it was terrible. And I was down on myself because I couldn't build my business. For some reason, I just felt held back, and I needed to do things perfectly. And when I didn't do them perfectly, I felt down on myself, and then I'd feel guilty for feeling down on myself, and then I'd have to do things perfectly again. It was like a perfection and guilt loop, and I was just so down and in the dumps, and I was depressed, and even worse, I was pissed off at myself for being in those depressed states. I was pissed off at myself for being less than I could be when I knew I was meant to do really big things, but I couldn't get myself to do it. I was immobilized, like I knew exactly what I needed to do. Like my laptop was staring at me going, dude, change your life. You have everything you need. But I just didn't care. But I cared so much at the same time. And it hurt, and I was so confused because I thought that if I could finally succeed in my business, I could just relax. Do you ever feel that way? Like an attachment to success, like you need it to happen before you can chill out? And business is all you think about, right? But when it comes time to work your business, you either crush it and still feel empty inside, or you don't complete your to-do list and feel guilty about it, or you don't do anything at all out of fear. And even if you do happen to take action, it's not something that actually moves your business forward. It's something that just makes you feel busy instead of actually being productive. And it hurts, right? It hurts to know that you're meant for something big, but not actually doing what you know in your heart is right because you're afraid. And it just leads to sitting there frustrated, wishing you had success, seeing other people absolutely crushing it in their life and going, what am I doing wrong? Do I really have what it takes to be successful? And if that's you, it's probably because you're attached to your dreams. I lived that way for years. I believed that happiness was a destination and that it was a result of my success, a result of walking across that stage, a result of having hundreds of thousands of dollars flowing in. But I learned something really, really important. If that's you, even if you achieve success, you'll still be miserable because you're missing a very, very important thing. Business, success, and money will not bring you happiness unless you are already happy. Think about it. How many people do you know that have money but are still miserable? Happiness is what creates success. When you're truly happy, you can achieve success the right way because your happiness isn't at risk of going away based on your achievements. You'll be happy regardless of your achievements and know that failure is leading you to achieve more, and that allows you to achieve the right way, the fulfilling way, the way that leaves a legacy, the way that touches lives, the way that makes the world a better place. And sure, a byproduct of that is money. A byproduct of that is your name on a plaque, right? A byproduct of that is the recognition, but it's not what you lead with. Like, you know the cliche, you can't pour from an empty cup? Well, you can't serve from an empty cup. So if your happiness is dependent on a goal, you're not fulfilled. So you can't actually serve people the same way you could if you were genuinely happy. This is why when you invite people to your business and you're not fulfilled when you do it, you either attract the wrong type of person to your business or you hurt the people and that you bring in because you're not showing up as the best version of you. And most people probably don't even want to be around you because they see this death grip on success with your focus on your business 24/7. And they're sitting there living a busy life, wanting things to get better for themselves. But if they see you stressed out and using all these like fake hashtags of life by design and all these things, which by the way, I used to do this. And they see you doing that and your focus is on your business 24/7 without ever taking time to recharge your batteries and live that life that you're trying to build, why would they ever join you if they're already busy and already have a crazy busy life, right? So we can't serve from a cup that's empty. So I want to give you my top 10. My top 10 tips to live in a happy state. And if you do these things, you'll find happiness creeping into your life more and more frequently. And the likelihood of success happening the right way, meaning the fulfilling way, will increase. Because if you have money, you have a big business, but you're not happy, that is not success. That is not actually something that you can be proud of, right? It's something that will just make you feel hollow and empty inside. This is that person that hits their monthly benchmark in their business, but still feels like it's not enough. So I challenge you to go through this list. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 for each of these 10 items and see where you can improve today to live a happier, more smile-filled life. And when you do that, the money, the business, it's all a byproduct, but happiness has to come first. So number 1, the most important tip of living a happy life and more importantly a fulfilling life is genuine gratitude. Genuine gratitude, not the bullshit gratitude, the real gratitude. So many people will talk about how like their day is going poorly, or how they wish they had their business growing faster, or they wish they had all these achievements, and they complain all day long about why they're not where they want to be. And then they jot 5 things down in a journal to feel better. Is that you? That's not actually gratitude. Now, if you write down in that journal those 5 things and you internalize it, you feel it in your heart, you actually appreciate it and feel gratitude for those things, that's different. But most people do it just as a checklist item, rush through their gratitude practice just to get it done throughout the day. That's not going to do anything for you, right? It's not actual heartfelt gratitude. Gratitude is the gateway to all abundance. Because if you aren't grateful for what you currently have in your life, you'll never create what you want in your life. If you are finding that you're overweight and you're saying, I'll be happy when I get to that better body, then you're not going to get there because your happiness is dependent on that goal. But if you say to yourself, I'm grateful for the ability to go after my big dreams, I'm grateful for where I am now, all of a sudden you can start taking action and learn the lessons you need to learn to get to that place in your life. So why would you hate the vessel that's the key to your freedom? It doesn't make sense. So you need to be grateful for where you are now and want more. If right now is not enough and you want more, you'll never get more. But if right now is more than enough and you want more, that's how you achieve more. So step into the common sense corner. If you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, are you going to give more to the person that's complaining about less in their life? Or are you going to give more to the person that loves everything they already have? Seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good, including the challenge. If you can find a way to fall in love with where you are, even if it's challenging, all of a sudden you'll stop pushing away the lesson that will teach you how to break through to success. Gratitude is the biggest key to your success, and it's the most important piece of happiness. So scale of 1 to 10, where are you in the skill, and I say skill because it's something you practice, of gratitude? 1 being you don't do it at all, and 2 or 3 being you just kind of check it off a list, and 10 being you feel it deeply in your heart every day. It's a practice. It takes you 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to get through, and you focus on it and you feel it internally, and you just get into that deep state of appreciation. That would be a 10. Where are you, scale of 1 to 10, on the skill of gratitude? Challenge you to look at yourself introspectively when it comes to that. Number 2, responsibility. Responsibility is one of the main keys to happiness. Unhappy people have a mindset of blame. They have a mindset of they should be somewhere else. It's not my fault I'm here. And even the people that are unhappy with where they are with their work, that is still their choice. It's still their choice. It's still a decision they are making. And even if things happen to you that were not your fault, you still must take responsibility for how you respond, because life is made up of events and the meaning you give to each event. So the example I always give is if a man opens a door for a woman and she's really, really grateful, why is that? Is it because he opened the door, or is it because of what she interpreted that to mean? It was the interpretation, because that same dude could open the door for a different woman, and she could, or the same person, and she could be all pissed off thinking, I can get it myself, you pig, I don't need you. The event never changed. It was her interpretation of the event that was different. Does that make sense? So you must take responsibility for your life, and you have to give up complaining. have to give up complaining for where you are in your life right now. Complaining literally just means that you could do something about your situation, but you're too afraid to. That's because you don't complain about things you don't control. You don't complain about gravity. You don't complain about that because there's nothing you can do about it. But when it comes to your job, complaining about your work or your boss or whatever it is, that's something that you could make a decision to change, but you're too damn afraid to. That's why. So you need to take responsibility for that as well. But my big overarching point here is that happy people have a sense of responsibility for all parts of their life, even things that didn't seem fair. Instead of them seeing it as happening to them, they see it as happening for them. They look for the lesson. They say, it is my responsibility where I go from here. If something in your life is someone else's fault, it means you haven't taken full responsibility for that situation. Did that person cause it? Absolutely. But you are responsible for where you go from here. And blaming others or blaming the situation on an event or blaming where you are in your life right now or seeing your life right now as not fair or where you should be somewhere else, that's not taking responsibility. Where you are right now and where you go from here is 100% up to you. It is 100% your responsibility. And once you start taking responsibility, your life will change very, very quickly. So scale of 1 to 10. Where are you when it comes to this? 1 being just miserable, blaming everyone else for your problems, right? That's 1. 10 being, I accept full responsibility for where I am in my life and I am responsible for everything that happens, go forward. That would be absolute responsibility. And the people that take more responsibility than not are the happy ones. So where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Number 3, tip for lasting happiness is exercise. Biochemically, you will feel better when you move. These bodies, these machines are meant to move. So you need to take care of this machine that you're living in. Now, if you're injured or you have something going on where you can't move, to get that taken care of, obviously. But most of the world is lugging around this beautiful piece of equipment, right? They're so freaking tired and they rely on caffeine to get through the day and they don't have the energy to live their purpose. Your job is to take care of this machine so you have the energy and just the mental clarity to live your purpose. So even if it's walking around the block, you have to be consistently exercising, moving your body. You will feel better. Absolutely will feel better, and you'll be more resourceful at other parts of your day. You'll be more productive in your day. And if there is fear getting in the way of that and you're saying, I just don't have the time, that's bullshit. You absolutely have the time. That is the lamest excuse you could ever give for exercise, time or money. It doesn't make sense because your health is the most important piece of your entire life. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So we need to break through those fears and exercise and eat healthy on a consistent basis, and your happiness will improve. So that is number 3. Where do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to your exercise and physical body? 1 being you don't take care of it at all and you trash it and you just flood your mouth with unhealthy foods. You eat nachos at 11 p.m. and you're binging on alcohol, doing drugs, whatever it is. And then 10 would be you're really consistent with your health and fitness. Sure, you can have treats here and there. It's not about perfection, but you're taking good care of your body on a regular basis. Where do you fall on the scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to exercise? Number 4, this is huge. Number 4 is your peer group. There is no bigger life hack in the world than selecting your peer group intelligently. If you can find a way to get around people who are doing things that you think are hard and it seems easy for them, you're in the right peer group. Your life will instantly move forward when you're always around people playing life at a higher level than you. If you are the best in class, you are in the wrong class. Look at your group of friends. Do they gossip, complain, bitch about work all day long, focus on what's wrong in their life, and that's all they talk about? If that is your peer group, you are hurting your life. It's holding you back in a lot of ways. You need to surround yourself with people that are playing life on a high level. When I look at my peer group, I am wowed by every single one of them. I look at them and I go, how the hell do they do that? because I surround myself with people playing life at a higher level than me, so I can always learn something new. If you're around people easily doing what you think is impossible, you will raise your standards and level up your game. So what's a peer? A peer is someone that you would change your behaviors or action to gain the approval of. That's a peer. Think of it like your inner circle. Who's in your inner circle? Ask yourself that question. And if that person gossips, complains, and blames, get them out. That is not someone worthy of being in your inner circle, because they're dragging you down. Now, you can have a conversation with them to try to lift them up, but if they consistently show that they're exhibiting those behaviors and those traits, it's time for a new peer group. And you might be saying, but Brad, like, what about my family? What if my family is negative? Here's my advice to that. Love your family, pick your peer group. Love your family, pick your peer group. Just because their family does not mean you need to surround yourself with them. I have barriers around who I surround myself with in my family. You should too, if they are negative people. So a good exercise for this is to write down the qualities of someone that would lift you up, someone that is just, that you are wowed by. What are their qualities? Write it down. Then write out a list of the 5 people you spend the most time with, whether virtually or in person. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time around? And compare those 2 lists, the qualities of that peer and the list of people that you surround yourself with. If those people match up with your list, you're good to go. And you might find that 2 or 3 of them do, 2 or 3 of them don't. It's time to make some changes. It's time to fire some people. Think of your life as a multinational corporation. If you were the CEO of a multinational corporation, you have what's called a board of directors, right? Those are the people that are responsible for determining where that company goes. Who's sitting on your board of directors? And are they going to help your company thrive, or are they going to tear it down? Food for thought. So scale of 1 to 10. 1 is you are just surrounded by toxicity on a regular basis. 10 is you're just wowed by the people you're with. Where is your peer group? Scale of 1 to 10. Do a self-evaluation, because self-honesty is freedom. Where are you with that? Number 5, key to happiness is reading. And I'm not talking about vampire novels. Reading. Leaders are readers. Leaders are readers. The reason this is so important, and it's not even just reading, it's attending seminars, it's investing in courses and coaches. It's finding a way to invest in yourself. So let's change number 5 from reading to investing in your own personal development. Leaders are readers, and they invest. You can't afford not to go to seminars, read books, take courses. You can't afford not to do it, because what's happening here is you're surrounding yourself with people playing life on a high level that want to learn. And on top of that, the person that's instructing you is taking decades or years of failure and tweaking and learning something they've mastered, and they're shrinking a decade into a couple of days, or a couple of months in a course, or a couple of pages in a book. You need to be reading and listening to the works of inspirational people all the time. And that's literally what you're doing on this podcast. So I honor you for that. But don't just do it with me. Listen to other people as well that you respect and that you admire. Listen to Tony Robbins. Listen to Brendon Burchard. Listen to Brene Brown. Listen to those people, because they're shrinking decades into days. They can help you break through so many barriers. And so many people will say, but I can't afford to get to that convention. That is not true. That is not true. If you can't afford to go to a convention, if you can't afford to hire that coach to invest in that course, but you know in your heart that's the next level, you absolutely must find a way. And here's the thing. People will tell you it's stupid. People will tell you you can't afford that. We're not at that place in our life yet. My advice is don't listen to them. Do not listen to those people, because they don't have the same goals as you. And I'm not saying we should judge them for where they are, but I am saying that we know where we are going, and we know the skills to get to that next level. So you absolutely must learn the skills of the people playing life at the next level. Think about this. You cannot get to the next level of your life with the same way of thinking that got you to your current place in life. It's impossible. You can't do it. So you need to learn the success mindset strategies and skills of the people that have gone before you and succeeded, and eventually you will succeed too. So that's number 5, investing dollars and time into your personal growth and development. Number 6, actually let's rate ourselves scale of 1 to 10 there. 1 is You don't do this regularly, and this kind of goes on the back burner. And whenever the idea of investing in something comes up, you kind of cower and hide because it's scary. And that's a fair emotion to feel. Fear is totally real, but you don't do it. You don't invest in yourself. That's a number 1. 10 is you're okay investing in yourself. You know that you can never go broke by investing in yourself. You know that you can always thrive. You can become more, and that is the most valuable asset you have. So you consistently attend seminars, read books, join courses, etc. That's a 10. Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Number 6, happy people have big goals. Big goals. Write this down. If you are bored in your life, you have shitty goals. If you are bored in your life, you have shitty goals. You will feel happier when you set a huge goal and create a compelling future for yourself because it makes you become a bigger person. You have to work towards becoming a bigger person, and progress equals happiness. Okay, so if you make progress towards something big, something you know is scary, then you can do it because you'll know that you're becoming more. And that is one of our needs as human beings, to become more. And we become more so we can give more. So raise your standards. And here's the thing. Most people will say big goals aren't realistic. Big goals are not realistic, right? Well, realism is the fastest traveled road to mediocrity. Not failure, mediocrity. This is so important to understand. Pessimism leads to failure. Realism leads to mediocrity. Optimism leads to dreams. It's so important you understand that. And why is that? Well, the pessimist isn't going to try anything. They're going to fail in life, right? They're going to go downhill and they're going to find themselves just stuck. The realist is going to set a safe, realistic goal that they know they can hit. But the optimist is going to set the really big goal that seems like just a huge stretch and seems insane. And here's the thing. The optimist is going to go for that goal with everything they possibly can. And they're going to fail. So the realist was right. The realist was right that the optimist can achieve that big goal. And the realist achieves their safe goal right away. And they hit it. They're happy with their goal, cool. But the optimist, even though they were wrong, they're optimistic. So they try again. And they fail again. And they learn something and they tweak and they try again. And they learn something and they tweak. It's like a combination lock. They just keep pounding on that door of success saying, I am going to make this happen. And then one day you figure it out and you lead this amazing, beautiful quality of life that the realist will never achieve in their life unless they switch to an optimistic mindset. Does that make sense? So pessimism leads to failure. Realism leads to mediocrity. And optimism leads to big dreams. So where are you? Do you set goals that you think are realistic? Is it a goal based out of fear instead of a goal based out of who you want to become? Take a look at your goals. Are your goals right now based on what you think is safe and realistic? I'm not saying be stupid and say I'm going to earn $1 billion tomorrow, but I'm saying, are they safe, being realistic, or are they a goal that is set based out of something that would cause you to need to become more? For example, if I want to impact 2,000 people this year with my course, that will cause me to become a completely different person than I am now. I have to figure out how to do it, and I have to level up my game if I'm going to achieve that goal. Right? But if I were to say, I want to make sure and I help 500 people this year, that would be a realistic, safe goal, right? It's not as scary, and I could just keep doing what I'm doing and hit that goal. But I want to help more, I want to serve more, so I need to stretch my goals to be able to do that. So scale of 1 to 10, where are you? 1 is totally pessimistic, don't even set goals because you're afraid you're not going to hit them. You don't claim them, you don't even say them out loud, you don't even write them down because you're too afraid of them. That's number 1. Number 10, scale of 1 to 10. 10 is you reach for the stars. You say, I'm going to find a way to get there. You make a decision. You're not going to sign up to try until things get tough. You're going to make a decision to hit these massive goals. And you'll know it's a real decision if action flows from it. That's how you know if you're committed to a big goal. If action flows from your decision, you are committed to that goal. So if 10 is just massive big goals that you're super excited to achieve, where do you fall on that scale of 1 to 10? Number 7, forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the biggest keys to happiness. And it's so hard for people sometimes to let go because what they're forgiving for isn't their fault. It's something that they didn't do, so they feel that they shouldn't have to let go of it. And it almost feels good to have that anger. But here's the thing. That other person doesn't know you're angry. That other person, they might know you're angry, but it doesn't matter because you're holding yourself back. So think about forgiveness. Like if you're carrying a bag of bricks up a mountain, it's just harder on you. That's it. It's harder on you. It doesn't do shit to the other person. It just holds you back. Forgiveness is like setting that bag of bricks down and continuing that hike. It gets way, way, way easier. Now, it's not saying what they did was something that you are happy with. It might have been painful. It probably was painful, and it probably still is painful. But you forgive to become free of suppressed emotions that you're subconsciously spreading to the world. If you have anger and resentment within you, and that's how you're trying to build success, other people will feel it. When I forgave the person in my life that I needed to forgive, my life exploded so much faster than I ever could have imagined. That's what you need to do. You need to actually forgive. And I teach you in my program, Appreciation Academy, how to let go of past hurts even when you don't want to. That's a whole other topic, but you need to learn how to forgive. You need to forgive them so you can lead a great life. What's the Nelson Mandela quote? Resentment is like drinking poison and expecting your enemies to die. It's so true. You absolutely must master the skill of forgiveness to be happy in your life. So scale of 1 to 10, where are you? 1 is screw that person. Like it's their fault. I don't need to do that, right? You're just living in anger. 10 is, you know what? I've let it go. I've let it go. And you'll probably find with this, it's like a 1, a 5, or a 10. It's probably not in between, but that's okay. 10 is, I've let that go. And you know what? On top of just letting it go, I've started to become grateful for them. I'm grateful that they did what they did because it taught me these valuable lessons in my life that move me forward to where I want to be. Without them, I wouldn't be me. So they played the role they needed to play in my life. If they were something different, I wouldn't be who I am now. So I am so glad they did what they did because it led to something beautiful, something that I cherish. It led to the real me. And the real you has the ability to let that go. That would be a 10. So where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to forgiveness? Number 8 is vision. And this is closely related to big goals, but without a vision for your life, you're screwed. Like, where are you headed? Do you know where you see yourself in 5, 10, 15, 20 years? And it doesn't need to be a perfect, accurate thing that you achieve. You just need to be leading towards something. Like if you set out on a road trip and you just don't know where you're going to go, sure, you'll find some cool things along the way, but you're not going to be headed in that destination. Let's say you go from New York to San Diego. That's where you want to go on a road trip. You have a game plan, a map to get there. Along the way, you might say, you know what? I don't want to go to San Diego anymore. I want to go to Austin, Texas. You can reroute on the way, but if you don't have a destination in mind, a vision for what you're going to create, you're not going anywhere. So can you see the future? And here's the thing. We want these big goals in our life, not for the goals themselves, but for the feelings they'll create. And so the reason I bring that up is because if you have a vision for your life and where you want to take your life, if you have a genuine vision for it, you can feel what it will feel like to achieve that before it ever happens. And if you feel that before it ever happens, whatever you focus on, you create. So you'll start to lead yourself to find the answers to create that vision. Where will your life end up? What compelling future do you want to create? Because if you have a vision, you will feel pulled towards your dreams instead of pushing so freaking hard and going nowhere. And you know what I'm talking about, right? The feeling of using willpower and it's not working. You need a vision. In fact, that's the thing about leadership. If you're leading a team, if you're not consistently sharing your vision about where you're taking your team, then they feel confused. They don't feel connected to part of a central mission or vision, right? They feel like there's nothing there. So great leaders see things as they are, not worse than they are, and they see how they want to create it, and then they find a way to bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to be. They're not pessimistic. They don't see it as worse than it actually is, but they see it where they are and where they want to go, and they find a way to close the gap by consistently communicating that vision and showing their team action steps on how to get to that vision. That's what great leaders do. That is number 8. So scale of 1 to 10. 1 is I haven't even began to thought about my vision. And 10 is I am crystal clear on what my vision is for my life and where I want it to go. I'm flexible in my approach. I know that vision can change. and I clearly communicate myself where I'm currently headed right now. That would be a 10. Number 9 is energy, also closely related to exercise, but different. Energy is a psychological choice. Sure, taking care of your body absolutely matters. You need that natural energy 100%, but you can bring energy to your day-to-day situation. So for example, I just finished a really hard workout before shooting this. And I was feeling really tired. Like I overdid it a little bit. I was feeling really, really tired from that workout. But I decided when I sat down for this podcast recording that I was going to bring energy to this situation so I can impact more lives. Energy is something you bring. How many times have people come to visit you and you guys stay up all night talking, and then the next day, because you're with them, you feel revitalized and energized and you feel so on top of the world. You go to a concert, you go and do all these things. Energy is psychological, right? So my question to you is, do you life up everything you do? Do you broadcast good news? I call this the awesome club. It's a great place to be. So many people are in the shitty club, right? This is shitty, the weather sucks, my career's not where I want it to be, and they focus on that all day long. Broadcasting bad news does nothing for the world. Broadcasting good news makes the world a better place. So do you focus on that? Do you broadcast only good news? Do you life up everything you do? For example, how do you respond to this question? How are you? How do you respond to that question? For most people, they'll say, I'm okay, or I'm busy, or I'm fine. You're breathing. You're alive. You have this gift of life when it's been taken from other people. Isn't that enough to feel pretty damn good? It's more than enough to feel really good. So if you life up everything you do and you're grateful for the life that you have, and when people say, how are you doing? You say, you know what? I'm awesome today. I'm fantastic today. It's not about bullshitting your way. It's not bullshitting your way through conversations. It's commanding your brain to feel differently. So that's my challenge for you. Life up what you do. Broadcast good news to other people. Take care of your health. Your health. Help other people feel important. Can people feel an energy in your smile? Can you walk into a room and light it up without saying a word? And if that's you, you are living happiness. That's how you will generate happiness day to day, because you're in control of your energy. And I teach you how to break through that, and if you feel like you don't control it, in my course, I'll talk to you guys about it in a few minutes. But you need to master your energy if you want to feel happy on a day-to-day basis, because energy is something you control. It is psychological. It is a choice you make. Okay? And number 10, scale of 1 to 10. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 is, I'm freaking exhausted every day, and I feel horrible. That would be a 1. 10 would be, I'm pretty awesome. I'm fantastic. This is a great day. I'm living an amazing life. I realize the power of the fact that I even have this gift of life, and that even if things don't go the way I expected them, I still have my life. So life's pretty damn awesome. It's all perspective, guys. It's all perspective. If it's a mindset of, I don't have enough, you're just going to feel empty inside. But you need to realize that if you have this gift of life, you already have more than enough. And if you already have more than enough and you're happy with that, all of a sudden success, money, business, that stuff comes to you. So scale of 1 to 10. 1 to 10, where are you with your energy? And finally, number 10. Number 10 is to give. Give is one of the most powerful pieces of happiness you can imagine, not just in financial terms. I'm talking about giving all of who you are and contributing to something bigger than yourself. So 2 things, right? Like, do you give all of who you are to something? For example, if I film this podcast and I were to just talk like this, you got to give. You got to go through the process, and you got to give. That's why you have this. Would you feel like I was actually giving all of who I was? No, not at all. You have to give all of who you are to what you do. You need to show up energetically to help the people you're meant to help. You need to show up in that way. Give all of who you are to a situation, and you will feel fulfilled because you know you gave. Human beings, we grow so we can give. If we don't feel like we're growing, we feel like we're dying. We feel bored. Those big goals we talked about, they cure boredom because you have to grow into something more. And the reason you grow into something more is so you can give more to other people. So how are you making this place better? Sure, you can donate. Sure, you can volunteer. But how are you leaving your legacy on the world? How are you actually making a difference? Unless you feel like you are contributing to something on a day-to-day basis, it can be a marriage, it can be parenting, it can be making your kids' lives better. But if you don't feel like you are contributing every single day, you're going to feel hollow inside. You're going to feel empty inside. So think about this. Do you feel more fulfilled from getting a $1,000 check for Christmas, or from buying kids that don't have homes $1,000 worth of Christmas presents? You feel happier from giving, because human beings do so much more for others than they ever will for themselves. It's so powerful when we give. So, in fact, think about when you achieve something. What's the first thing that happens when you achieve a really big goal? What do you want to do? You want to share it, don't you? You want to share it with other people. You go through life making other people feel amazing by sharing what you've accomplished, right? So same thing, even if you achieve, you do it so you can make other people happy. When you have a great steak at a steakhouse, what do? You recommend that restaurant to others. When you go through life and you achieve your big goals, or not even just the steakhouse example, but you see a good movie. If you see a good movie, what do? You say, that movie was awesome. You share it, you contribute and make others' lives better. But what will really fulfill you is when you have a mission you are driven towards. If you have a mission that you are on fire about every single day, helping people break through negative self-talk and overcome all those limiting beliefs that are holding them back from the dreams they deserve, that's mine. You can feel it. But do you have a mission you're fighting for every single day? You see in my social media the same message again and again, because I'm on a mission to deliver that message to people so they can have success way faster than I ever did. If you can give by coming from a place of contribution and sharing that mission with others on a day-to-day basis, the business, the money, the success, it's a byproduct. So we grow so we can give. Number 10 is give. So scale of 1 to 10. 1 is it's all about me, and I don't even care what it does for other people. And 10 is this is about so much more than myself. This is about helping other people feel a certain way. This is about contributing to people that have less than I do right now. This is about making others' lives better. Where are you on that scale of 1 to 10? So that's my checklist. If you do those 10 things, you'll start to create lasting happiness in your life. So rate those items, scale of 1 to 10, and then ask yourself, where do you want those numbers to be? And who would you have to become to get there? And if you know your numbers are not where you want them to be, that's what I teach people how to do. Because when you truly live this way, you find lasting happiness. And when you find lasting happiness, you find the resourcefulness to create a great business. And you find the mindsets to focus on the most important things, the patience to get through your challenges, and the peace that allows you to stay committed to your goals without being so damn attached to the outcome. So that's what this is about. It's about more than your goals. It's about happiness. That's what you're going to care about. And when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to give a shit if you hit that elite title in your MLM company. You're going to care that you smiled every day. You're going to care that you made your husband or wife smile every day. You're going to care that you left that imprint on your kids. You're going to care that you can still feel your daughter's arms wrapped around you throughout the day. That's what you're going to care about. So thank you so much for being here today and tuning into the path to mindset mastery. If you're struggling with this, if you know you got to up those numbers, like you understand the overall concepts, but you don't know how to embed this into who you are, dive into Appreciation Academy. It's available on my website or at appreciationacademy.com. And if you use the promo code podcast in all caps, you get 50% off. That's pretty damn awesome. It's worth it. And obviously I have a personal incentive there, but I think you can feel that this is about service to others, not just about myself. So if you're willing to take that leap of faith, you will be so glad you did, backed by hundreds and hundreds of people who feel the exact same way. So thank you so much. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Thank you for being here and tuning in today. Share this podcast with people that need to hear it. Rate yourself on those items I mentioned and go out there today and every day and live your life with a genuine smile on your face, because you can. I'll see you next week.